Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Thursday, September 11th, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. We keep pushing into the zone. We have now for the last few months, since May, actually. 351.39 is a 50% upside retracement from the December high against that April low. And 360.21 is a 2.5-year channel top that, despite the fact that we violated it, it did act as a decent pivot point, both to the upside from November to December, and then when we close back below it a couple of months later. And so it is still holding the highs. Combined in all that is a rising channel top on the daily chart at 355.62. So, it's like one wide, almost 9-point range of resistance that can contain buying into October, possibly into later year, and below which our 2 to 3 week objective remains the 315.90 rising channel bottom. On the way down, we have 328.65. I'm going to call that kind of a 1 to 2 week target at 328.65. Downside today, I've got 343.33 still. That is a gap still, believe it or not, from about a week ago. And if we break 343.33, well, once again, I'm going to step back and say if we close below 343.33, tomorrow, Monday, we test 328.65, where a daily low can be placed, and we could actually bottom out here on a weekly basis and round back up again. You never really know, obviously. You weight these things subjectively. I'm keeping it light because of the significance of the 351.39 to 360.21 region, this long-term resistance on the weekly chart that I started the video with. And so I want to keep the support levels light until we get into serious bottom-picking territory at 315.90. But if you want to pursue 328.65 as a level that could contain selling on a weekly basis, a 3 to 5 day, perhaps 1 to 2 week swing trade back into the 350s again, I don't have a problem with that. But I do think, given the significance of the 350s and the fact that we've been testing it, you should allow for the 315.90 level over the next, say, 2 to 3 weeks. And yes, longer term, there's the very real possibility of falling into the 260s from the 350s. I've been saying that now for several months. And 315.90 on the way down would be a pivot point that, if settled below, would clarify 264.21 as the next 3 to 5 week objective, where we could bottom out through the rest of the year. So, as I've been saying, if you want to anticipate the 260s as a longer term 2 to 3 month objective, so long as we do not close above 360.21, I think that is a valid, viable approach. And then I'm just sort of outlining the smaller, more intermediate levels on the way down. 343.33 can contain intraday selling pressures, and above which we can continue chipping away at the 350s long-term resistance. If we close below 343.33, expect 328.65 within 1 to 3 days, depending on volatility, where we could bottom out perhaps through the balance of next week, and if violated or settled below 315.90, likely within several more days. 315.90 is a solid zone that, if you're a 2 to 3 week swing trader and you are short right now, to not only take profits, but to reverse and go long again, perhaps within several weeks back into the 350s. That covers the downside pretty well. Talking upside now, if we do close today above 360.21, Thursday above 360.21. Yes, by tomorrow, Friday's close, we could see 375.04. But the week is kind of maturing now, if you will. This is Thursday after all. And so if you can wait, if you will, for a settlement above 360.21 before acting on even a 2 to 3 week buy signal, closing tomorrow, the week itself, above 360.21 would then maintain 392.88 as a 2 to 3 week objective. So rather than anticipating 2 to 3 week swing traders, 315.90 as a short play out of the 350s, closing tomorrow above 360.21 would be just the opposite, expecting 392.88 within 2 to 3 weeks. And a longer term,
if you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
If we do close tomorrow, the week itself above 360.21, we've got 522.49 as a 5 to 8 month objective, into Q1, Q2 of 26 on the way up. 426.11 is a full swing. That is 367.71 minus 273.21, and then you add that difference to 367.71 as a targeting mechanism. There's also almost the exact same point as an ABC pattern from the April low against that May high. You subtract the difference and you add that to that pullback low of 273.21, and that also takes you into the 426 handle. So we would see this as, I'm going to call this like a 2 to 3 month target. We have a 448.10 rising channel top, but it's rising at a very fast pace, and it will actually converge by the end of the year with 522.49. So I don't see that as realistic unless we were to test it quickly. But as time wears on, it almost becomes an ignorable structure because it doesn't become realistic. But what is realistic is a settlement above 360.21, 426.11, a 2 to 3 month target. And I think you can play that by reaching for, say, 520, 530 strike out of the money calls that don't expire. I'd go 6 months out of the expiration on the 2 to 3 month play. Preserve your delta, reduce the time decay theta element from the equation. But until then, we're not there yet, and we are still below the 350s. And as I've said, we can, and as long as we don't close above 360.21, should fall into the 315.90 region within 2 to 3 weeks, and potentially into the 260s over the next several months. I do want to add one other thing. The Triple Q and the NASDAQ 100 have been testing a 2.5-year channel top for the last month and a half, backing away each time. We're back at it again, and I would just invite you to check out wickedstocks.com, take advantage of our 5-day free trial, and you'll have these numbers at your disposal. I don't want to present them because people do pay for this information at wickedstocks.com, but you can get it for free for 5 days up front by going to wickedstocks.com and taking advantage of that 5-day free trial. If we get the buy signal in the Triple Q above that point, above that channel top, I venture to say Tesla will also close this week above 360.21. I'm going to leave it at that for Thursday's Tesla report. You have a great day.